Silent Hill, the movies. I tell you, this current third Silent Hill movie was a predictable disaster. I could see it a mile away, 2 miles. Why? Because it was made by the same person as the first one. And I always told you, the first movie was shit. As a movie, it is incomprehensible. And I validated by the actual critics too, because nowadays people start to recognize, I see the reviews, that Silent Hill Revelations, which is the second movie, was at least a movie. It was working, it was entertainment. So, what is going on here? I won't go into the nitty-gritty because, I want to explain why Silent Hill 1 didn't work and why Silent Hill 2 did work. The first thing, I never played the games. I hate the first three on the idea level, and I read this article, 2-page, everything in the computer magazine, about the Force, and I liked it, and like a year ago I thought I can afford it, and so I bought it, and I never even started it because just, I had better things to do or something. It's low on the priority list, very bottom. But it's not why I don't want to play, Asian games. Asian games are weird with their multiple endings, and it's for another time. Either way, so I guarantee I know practically nothing about Silent Hill. But I know one thing, just from the talking on everywhere, that the monsters are symbolic metaphors, something, for the protagonist. Sure, and there was a cult in Silent Hill. They worshipped something, taking over the world. Great cool, tongue, whatever you want. That's all the knowledge I started watching Silent Hill, and it had a tagline which lost in time. I can't find it anywhere, but I swear it existed. It was like mysteries without something, puzzles without solutions, something like that. So just the tagline told me this here they are nonsense. Eventually I watched it because everyone was talking about it, of course not in the cinemas, but let's see what's going on with Silent Hill 1. First, there is this family, father, mother, and daughter, and daughter has visions that she wants to go into Silent Hill because reasons. That's the starting event. So movie stuff. I can't complain about it. It's just movie trope. There is that cat noises thing at the beginning. I could care less. I thought maybe the daughter is, that autistic. Sure, why not? Then the movie, well, let's talk about Boromir. On paper, his inserts could have worked if they were properly made to, they are at the same place at the same time, but they never meet, and, that kind of parallel stuff. They never went enough that way, so I understand the director didn't even want those scenes in, but you're the director, you have a job, you had one job. The studio had mandates, you incorporate those into your film, not just shoot some bullshit and hope they will get rid of it. Anyway, so we arrived to Silent Hill, and there is this fog or ash rain or whatever you want to call it. We all know originally the game used it to hide its limitations because it's for the small studio or whatever. Sure, this is Silent Hill. Great. Now, what I'm missing here is, why don't we get the policewoman here? I'm not even sure why she's following this woman. She's acting like some ICE agent, let's be honest about it. But if you wanted to do it more interesting, you should have made Mother is just faints out and wakes up in this Silent Hill. And then policewoman should have go there and do her stuff and bring in the armless monster. But that will no. What happens instead is protagonist lady goes down on these stairs, and the sirens come up and everything turns into this rust filter. Why? It's never explained. The change of the city is not connected to emotional state of the protagonist or any outside event or anything. It's just random. So it's just bullshit. So she goes down and meets this minor guy nailed into a fence. Wire fence. Why? Who put him there? Sure, it's a weird thing, but it's just a random weird thing. Why do I care? And immediately after this, she is attacked by these children demon. Why? Why them? Why are they this deformed demon stuff? If I would do this film, I would make it that, and this movie wants to make you believe this is a normal, just weird town where weird stuff happens, and turns out the whole community of people lives in it. Shouldn't then we do escalating the weirdness? Because these demon childs out of nowhere, they couldn't even hang up the minor gas mask guy because they are too small, and they look like they are eating people, not nailing them on the wall. now we meet
Lissa. Insomleren. Varajonot.
the policewoman, great, and we meet the formless thing. You know, if this thing appeared first as a monster, I could have seen it as, there was a big fire and ash fell and so people got melted. But now I have expectations. There was the gas mask guy, there was the demon children. So this is not a melted person, but some new kind of demon. Why are here demons? I'm just starting to lose interest, to be honest. With the faintest last remaining hope that this movie will go anywhere, we go to the school and we find the janitor monster, who is great. Practically the only good part of the movie, because we are in the school of the demon town and we get the evil janitor. This thematically works. Absolutely. And talking about thematics, speaking about thematics, no wonder this movie's monsters don't work, because interviews and reviews says the plot is from the first game, but the monsters are from the second. But remember, the monsters should be metaphors of the plot and the psyche of the protagonist. But if the monsters are from the second game, then they are the allegory for the second game's protagonist, not the first ones. So what are we doing here? Then we get Pyramid Head. Sure, he looks fine. Pretty much, he is supposed to be the big scary monster. But he really doesn't do anything, and actually reminds me that I saw footage from Silent Hill games, and it wasn't a stealth game, so you didn't avoid these creatures, you were fighting them. It even especially said it has boss fights. You know where we got this boss fight against Pyramid Head? This Pyramid Head? In Resident Evil Afterlife. Sure, it's just a bag on the head, and instead of this, whatever this Pyramid Head guy is bringing, the other guy has some big hammer. I'm not sure what this one has. I don't care. It's either a kite or a hammer. That was cool. That was a cool action scene. The protagonist was fighting the beast. It was slow motion and close-ups and jumping around. You know what you would expect from the footage of the Silent Hill games. But it's nothing. And then we get the nurses. Why do we get the nurses? Is anybody hurt? Anybody? Why do we have nurses? And, you know, the whole movie, Silent Hill 1, is working like a computer game. It's just remember, there is the intro segment, then we go into the tunnel thingy where the rust hits. That's a scene. Then we come up and have a scene with a policewoman, and we meet this cult lady or something, and then we get to the school, and then from the school we get out because we are done with that one, and go to some attic where there is this girl who is not the daughter but the daughter, so we know there is some revenge or ghost reincarnation plot is going around, so we are no longer surprised. Then somehow we are out of there and in a church, and from the church we are going to this motel thing because just by going through a door. That's a computer game stuff. That's not a movie stuff. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely just a joke. And then we have Devil Baby, and who is actually Satan but is the good guy, and the whole cult is just thrashed by not Pinheads or Event Horizons visual lookalike. By the way, this cult is disturbing me because why do they exist? This cult is incoherent because it seems to exist because Silent Hill went under this curse of the Devil Baby. They tried to kill it and didn't succeed. That's what you get for monologuing, by the way. Anyway, so I see that it's getting to its magic dimension, so no one can leave the town because at the end of the road is the beginning of the road. Sure, whatever. I still don't understand why is there the rust version of the city, and I don't see if these are supposed to live here. Why some people are wearing gas masks, and not to mention that gas masks work with filter, so you have to change the filter pretty regularly. If it's like a fire starter mask, then you have to switch it in like 10-20 minutes. If it's like a lower grade working mask, then every 24 hour of use or something like that. So why they are wearing the mask and others don't? No idea. They just do because Mad Max. That's my only excuse. Anyway, so but turns out the cult existed before Devil Baby went all haywire. So the cult is both the cause and consequence of his own, tries to fill in both roles, and succeeds in neither. We don't know what they worship, why they worship it, and how this whole thing came to be, because one, they don't tell us. Two, it seems to exist in sheer opposition of Devil Baby, but the whole situation wouldn't happen if the cult didn't already exist. It seems to be originally some evangelical far-right, not far-right, just evangelical group who tried to kill a girl because it was born out of wedlock or some bullshit, and they instantly declared it the devil's child. It just makes no sense. This movie makes no sense, and then no wonder Silent Hill, Return to Silent Hill makes no sense, because it was made by the same person. By the way, I've not seen Return to Silent Hill yet. I will try to look it up.